But mine, speaking of Cliff Kingsbury, is in 2019 when we fired Cliff Kingsbury from the football program.
Damn it.
That was a great moment for me personally and for our university and football program. Because in his 6 years at Texas Tech, while he was a great beloved player and had great expectations, he flopped as a head coach at Texas Tech.
Is that bad?
It's not good.
His only winning record versus a Big 12 team is Kansas. And
Rock Chalk.
yeah. And I mean, he went 5-7 with Pat Mahomes when Pat had in 2016 when Pat had over 5,000 yards and 41 touchdowns, better stats than Lamar Jackson had the year before when he won the Heisman. And because we were 5-7, Pat got no love and went to become a great pick. And then my favorite stat and why I left so many football games under the Cliff Kingsbury era, I bitched about our down at halftime record so much that it got Brooke to make a very detailed spreadsheet on how horrible Cliff is. He jumped on the bandwagon pretty fast. I might add.
I was always on the Cliff bandwagon. I was on the anti-Cliff bandwagon.
And so he made a very detailed spreadsheet of how bad Cliff was, and it's amazing just to have all those facts and stats. So we don't have to argue with people. We just present facts.
Yeah, I have every record versus every single Big 12 team. I have all his Big 12 games we lost when we were ahead at half, games we lost when we were down at half, games versus ranked opponents, which is also another really sad record. We didn't have a lot of victories against teams that were ranked or finished up ranked. That's the other key.
Ranked opponents 3-21. Teams who finished ranked 1-17. He also got a lot of cheap wins against cupcake schools.
And his reward for all that
is an NFL job.
Is a way better job. My fifth favorite moment, I'm going to go back to 2012 for mine. Me and Dust made a lot of jokes about this, our heydays back in the Tuberville era. There is some post on Viva the Mad where it's talking about
not the heyday of Tech.
Our Texas Tech heydays, and it was 2012 wasn't necessarily heydays. But October 13th, 2012, the first time West Virginia University comes to Lubbock, Texas, starting quarterback Geno Smith led the Mountaineers into Lubbock for their first trip, and Texas Tech absolutely destroyed them. Seth Dagey threw for 499 yards, 6 touchdowns in the game. Jay Samaro had 5 catches for 156 yards, a touchdown. Darren Moore, remember Darren Moore?
Yeah.
He had 3 touchdowns, 92 yards. And then Geno Smith, only 1 touchdown, 278 yards. My memories from this game,
5 picks.
Yeah, he didn't throw any picks.
No,
he didn't throw an interception in that game. Pretty sure. You can go look up the stats on it. I don't think he threw a single pick in that game. Because I remember at the time, he was the Heisman favorite. West Virginia was, top 5 in the country. He hadn't thrown a pick yet, and we came up close 2 or 3 times on him and didn't get a pick. I remember dropping 2 or 3. But, my memories from that, I was sitting there in the student section right next to the visiting tunnel.
Oh, no.
They had all the sheriffs sitting over there.
He did.
Yeah. See, good memory here.
Yeah, you got it. He went 278 with 1 TD, and that was it. No interceptions.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were sitting next to the tunnel, and they were doing a pretty good job of not letting the students get in there and yell at the team. But I remember kind of when the game was decided, Stedman Bailey and Tavon Austin, their top 2 receivers who were kind of shit talkers, were left the field early. And all the students, all of us rushed to the tunnel. And at that point, the sheriffs and the people watching the stands, the event staff were just whatever. And we all just in the tunnel yelling at him, screaming at him. And they just ran off to the locker room. But, a lot of memories from that game. The Geno sucks chants were pretty good. They were pretty loud. That was going on. Of course, we had the streaker run on the field, and so the jokes about that where he still more yards than Geno Smith did. A lot of good moments from that game. We rushed the field at the end of it because we absolutely just pummeled them. It was probably like the last big win we had in Lubbock, which is kind of the sad part about it. We haven't really beat anybody worth a damn since then. West Virginia did go on to lose like 5 straight games, so it didn't, at the end of the season, it wasn't like they were a great team, but at the time, being number 5 in the country, getting that win in the dominant fashion that we did, and just watching Daggy throw for all those yards and touchdowns, and then getting to rush the field. It was my first time rushing the field, so of course I'm going to remember that.
I went to Texas Tech a little bit after you guys, so mine unfortunately was not in the best of eras for Texas Tech football. But this was very big for me. It was the sneak play with Jakeem Grant that got us the win over UT. Was my 5th, and it was in
Little
Austin.
People, Big World. What was the play called? Small People, Big World, or Little People, Big World?
I don't remember.
The play call was at the wrong time of the game. That's what it was.
I mean, it's Cliff Kingsbury, but it was one of my favorite. It was one of my favorite plays to watch. Honestly, I got it up on the screen if y'all are watching on the live stream. But it was just kind of like you just like the entire camera, everybody's faked out, and then it was our first win in Austin in what I think almost 20 years. Like it was just cool, and it was my 5th favorite moment. I just enjoyed it again. I mean, this was during the Cliff era, so not the glory days of Texas Tech football, but definitely a really cool play. Definitely fun to watch.
Yeah, we didn't have a whole lot of moments from that time.
No.
And that was one of them. Like Dustin said, it was called a little too early because Texas still, I think, went down and scored after that. Or I can't really remember.
Instead of running out the clock or milking more time, we went and scored and gave Texas a chance to go score and kick an onside kick.
Yeah.
So, of course, Cliff messed up clock management by running a cool play.
Yeah. But we held on. We got the win, so that play gets to live long in Tech history. Catch y'all at the next tailgate.